So, sharp power. Joseph Knight describes sharp power as a aggressive and subversive policies employed by the authoritarian government as a projection of state power in democratic countries, and policies that cannot be described as either hard or soft power. Okay, so next topic is polarity of power thesis. It is given by the structural realists like the Kenneth Walters, Mearsheimer. What is the thesis? According to them, bipolar world order is the most stable and least dangerous. What is a polarity denotes? Okay, so the distribution of power across the globe. So far we have seen three models: multipolar world order, unipolarity, and bipolarity. Multipolar world order is the most unstable, frequent wars, worst, and in a situation of multipolarity greater confusion prevail, more finger are on a trigger button, and it is difficult to keep watch, and there is a greater chances of even accidental wars. Unipolarity is the most unstable and second worst. A single hegemon will overstretch, free riders like China will take the advantage, and there will be relatively decline of power of hegemon. Okay, so when there is a single superpower, the country may suffer from megalomania. Is that will think that there are no limitation on its power and will itself destroy the order which it has built by taking the unilateral action. Example lies USA undermined the United Nations security in case of second war in Iraq in 2003. Bio Polarity is the most stable and the best, and a strategic balance between two superpower. It is easy to keep watch on action. Two superpower will contain anarchy in their own zone of influence. India support multipolar world order because India believe that it can exercise strategic autonomy. And does India support multipolar in South Asia? No. India favors Indian hegemony in South Asia, and it does not want China in South Asia. Next topic is balance of power. So balance of power is the oldest concept and treated as maxim is that on par with the fundamental law. Okay, the meaning is that it is the oldest concept and it is treated as a maxim on par with fundamental law. Okay, that is based on the fundamental law. David Hume called it as a common sense. According to him, balance of power will remain relevant as long as common sense is there. Okay, so what is the relevance of balance of power in today's words? Okay, so first question, the relevance of balance of power, first question by the liberal and idealistics like the Woodrow Wilsons. According to him, balance of power is prone to war and can convert any local war between two countries into world war because countries are linked in alliance. Hence, it is said that the balance of power gives protection against measles but create a condition for plague, a bigger epidemic. Pandit Nehru was a critic of balance of power. He described it as a nervous state of peace, is that there is always a fear of war as countries possess nuclear weapon. Okay, so Hans de Morgenthau describes that whenever the term balance of power is used without qualification, it refers to an actual state of affair in which power is distributed among nations with approximately equality. Okay, Hans Morgenthau, what he said that the balance of power is used without qualification. So it referred to an actual state of affair in which power is distributed among nations with approximately equality. Okay, so what is the balance of power? Arguments in favor is the source of stability in international relations during the past 400 years. It was successful at the most of time in preserving peace, and second, it suit the real nature of international relation. Balance of power is in tune with the dynamic nature of international relation. It help in continuous adjustment and readjustment in relations without any grave risk of war among states, and it ensures multiplicity of states and guarantee the freedom of small states, and balance of power discourages the war. Okay, and a source of peace in international relations, and to support status quo in relations between the 1815 to 1914, it successfully prevented the war. Okay, so balance of power is a game. okay, which is played by the actor with the help of several devices. Okay, so major methods of the balance of power is the alliance and counter alliance, okay, interventions and non-intervention, divide and rule, buffer states or the zone, and armaments or the disarmaments. Okay, so what is the critical evolution of this? Okay, see, balance of power has been strongly praised as well as severely criticized. Okay, Martin Wright said that the balance of power is nearly a fundamental law of politics as possible to find. Okay, Palmer and Perkins defined its balance of power as a basic principle of international relations. Richard Cobden said that it is a unreal, inadequate, and uncertain system. Okay, Richard Cobden described this as a unreal, inadequate, and uncertain, and they hold that the balance of power admit war, okay, in half balance and make the nation's power hungry. Okay, he said that he admit war and it balance and makes the nation power hungry. Okay, so supporters of balance of power advances a number of arguments in favor and give examples of 1815 and 1914 period of history to prove the effectiveness of balance of power as a device of power management. Arguments against balance of power. Okay, so balance of power cannot ensure peace. State are not static units, and preponderance of one state in the world can also secure peace. There is a narrow basis, a mechanical view of peace, and the equality of number of states is a myth, and nations are not free to break alliance. There is an uncertainty of balance of power, and balance of power has lost its relevance. Okay, so Palmer and Perkins says that as long as nation state system is prevailing pattern of international society, balance of power policies will be followed in practice, and in all probability that they will continue to operate even if effective supranational groupings on a regional or world level are formed. In contemporary time, balance of power has lost much of its utility due to several changes in international relations. End of the era of European dominance and dawn of era of global politics. Okay, so there is a changes in psychological environment, and there is an increase of propaganda and psychologicals and political warfare as instrument of national policy, emergence of ideologies as a factor of international relations. Okay, so there is a reduction in number of major powers and bipolarity of cold war and new era of unipolarity, end of era of colonizations and imperialisms, and disappearance of the balancers. Okay, so there is also the concept of war into total war and the emergence of global actors. Contemporary times, balance of power has ceased to be fully relevant and credible principle of international relation. However, it still retain a presence in international relation, more particularly present in international relations, more particularly in sphere of regional relations among the states. So what the Sanders says that the idea of balance of power is still central and theoretical concept of international relations. Arnold Wolfers said that the structural changes in international politics of post-war period have not greatly affected the principle of balance of power, is still hold good in respect of regional relations among the nations. It means that the after post-war period, principle of balance power not greatly affected the balance of power. It is still hold good respect in regional relations among the nations. So in conclusion, we said that the concept of balance power is bound to continue so long as the struggle for power among the nations continue to characterize the international relations. Even the staunch critics of the balance of power like the Martin Wrights and Frederick admit that balance of power is still a basic element in international relations. Balance of power is neither totally obsolete nor dead. Its role, however, has changed from a global device to a regional device of the power management. And next is different perspective of balance of power. Okay, so balance of power suggests that the state may secure their survival by preventing any one state from gaining the enough military power to dominate all the others. Okay, so if one state become much stronger, theory predicts that it will drive weaker neighbor to unite in a defensive coalitions. Okay, so David himself that common sense in international politics, it is a realistic strategy of power management. However, there lay several confusions. Martin Wright says that point out that it is difficult to give exact definition because the notion of balance of power is notoriously full of confusions. Ennis Clowder said that also says that there is a trouble with balance of power is not that it has no meaning but that it has too many meanings. Okay, so for classical realists said that it is a matter of state policy with minimum 5 6 major power. There is no permanent alliance and no international actor. Okay, so for neorealist, balance of power system is a quite likely to develop in a bipolar system that a multipolar world order set means that the neoliberal says that it is a system which is quite likely to develop in a bipolar system, and that is a multipolar world order. Liberals see balance of power as a justification for deliberate power politics. Okay, and there is a critical approach which question the inherent beliefs and view and perception driving the state for the balance of power. And social constructivists pointed out that the balance of power is what a state make of it, what a state make of it. Thus, apart from the definitional issue, it is suffer from the lack of reliability during the theoretical scrutiny. Balance of power is a essence simply means excessive power anywhere in the system is a threat to the existence of other units. That most effective antidote of power is a power. Okay, said that the most effective antidote of power is a power. Okay, example like balance of power gave Europe peace before the World War First. Okay, so change due to changing nature of power in contemporary international system, the it complicates the operation of balance of power. Okay, like the globalizations, the internets, other technological development had made it possible for the small state, even non-state groups to acquire significant power. These factors are also dilute the relative importance of the military power and traditional applications of the balance of power. Okay, T.V. Paul and Michael Fortman and John Witzers is in their books. The balance of power theory and practice in 21st century has analyzed the relevance of balance of power and concluded that there is a very little possibility of operationalization and traditional balance of power politics through we can find some balance power of strategies, and balancing against US will be dangerous and costly. Hence the only option is the soft balancing. Okay, so terrorism has become the common and bigger threat than the USA. Hence the nation will go for the different type of an operators. Hence though balance of power as a concept remain relevant, yet the actuation may vary and differ or in several contexts. Thank you.